Hello everybody, welcome to Re-Edit. I am your host Johnny G, and for today's edit we're going to be doing a surreal head slice edit. I've been seeing this edit for a few years now. Actually, I've seen it for album covers, I've seen it for advertisements, things like that. I would just like to point out and say I have absolutely no idea what commercial or album cover I'm talking about. I really tried to Google it and I have no clue where I've seen this. Back to the regularly scheduled program. I call it surreal because it kind of reminds me of like a Salvador Dali sort of piece. This is definitely something up his alley. He's like an old painter. I'm really not gonna go into explaining it. I did some research, I took some pictures, and I think I'm ready to try this edit. So y'all stick along for the journey and I'll see you in Photoshop. All right, good morning editors. So we're here in Photoshop and the first thing I'm going to use my object selection tool and select me, the subject, and take it from this plain old background and put it onto a gradient background that I made. The object selection tool, it's much quicker than all the other selection tools. All you gotta do is click and drag over your subject and then it automatically selects it for you. It's not the most perfect selection. You can see it over my shoulder whenever I get to resizing this ginormous freaking picture of me. But you'll see it. It's not perfect, but it definitely gets the job done. So I am going to go over down and use my ellipses tool and create an ellipsis that connects from the back of my head all the way to like my front nose part. I kind of want to make this look like I'm laughing out loud, which is like, you know, kind of a little bit creepy, but when I say it like that, I don't know, you'll see it at the end. So I'm just sitting here, I'm resizing it to my liking, and feel free to experiment with how much depth you want in the ellipses. This is pretty much good for what I want. I was really just guessing here, if I'm being so honest. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I am going to command click onto the thumbnail of the ellipses to basically like select all the pixels in it. I'm not really sure why I did this, if I'm being so honest. That's what the video I watched, that's what she did. But basically I did that, but what I really ended up doing was using the polygonal lasso tool. As you can see, I tried using the regular lasso tool and that tweaked on me so bad. So I used the polygonal lasso tool and I selected basically from the ellipses up of my head. And because, you know, the polygonal lasso tool selects more so straight lines rather than curved, I had to be careful right here and make shorter selections along the edge of the ellipses. To basically create that roundness at the bottom so it wasn't so jagged as it looks on the top, which is a pretty important step. So I would say like pay pretty close attention to detail right there. And so when I'm done with that selection, I'm going to click on layer 1 and I'm going to add a layer mask onto there. And so after I create that layer mask, I'm going to duplicate it. And so after I duplicate it, I'm going to click on the thumbnail of the layer 1 copy and hit Command I to invert it. And make sure you click on the thumbnail when you invert, or else you will end up inverting the whole thing like I did. And so basically I'm dragging the ellipses down below the layer so that it's under the copy. And so boom, now this is basically the head slice edit right there. So what I'm going to do now is just, like I said, I wanted to create like this laughing out loud sort of head slice thing. It's giving very Tierra Whack, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna resize, reshape that, angle it to, you know, how deep I want the angle to be. And basically that's just sort of it. What I'm going to do next is just color the ellipses. I already had like the shade of pink picked out because I thought it, you know, contrasted well with the blue and the pink gradient background I had made. So I'm just basically going to color it and then add some shadows into it and make it real cool. And so basically with the shadows, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I just sort of played around with it to see like what worked and what didn't work. I added an inner shadow and I was going to add a drop shadow, as you're gonna see, but I completely decided against it because it just looked good just with like the inner shadow. I didn't think it needed a drop shadow. Basically what I was going for, because the light in the picture is actually hitting my face from the right, it didn't make sense to me to have like the shadow. I don't know. I don't really understand shadows like that. So I'm really just playing around with it, which I encourage you to do the same as well. And as you can see in the end, I completely just dropped the whole drop shadow idea. And so basically after that, that is the end of this edit. So I'll show you before and after. Boom, before, plain Jane. Boom, boom. And I wanted to get a little bit more creative with it to inspire you all. So I made this lovely little piece. I'll call it Head in the Clouds. And yeah, that's it for this edit. Well, that's it for today's edit. I'm so glad we did that. That was very fulfilling to do. I really love this. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I get into like this creative / editing mode, I just feel this contentment in my soul. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that means. Maybe that means I'm supposed to be doing this. I don't know. But anyways, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed that. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to UNF Spinnaker TV. Please head over to Instagram and follow my account at joe.chella, and also follow UNF Spinnaker at UNF Spinnaker TV. Without further ado, that is the end of this episode. I will see you all next week.